Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. Okay, let's start. 1.6 Steps in a Scientific Investigation. So, let's recall the science process skills that you have learned in primary school. So, as you can see right here, there are 9 steps. So, this method consists of a few important steps to enable a problem to be solved using the correct method, of course. So, as you can see, this is a sequence on the steps of carrying out a scientific investigation in the correct order. Okay, let's start. The first one, identifying a problem. So, you need to identify a problem that could be tested. So, for example, maybe a girl spilled a glass of water on her table, so then she asks, what can I use to absorb the water quickly? So, we have identified a problem. Next, construct a hypothesis. So, what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is an initial explanation. Initial explanation. Penjelasan awal before you buat eksperimen. Okay? So, for example, cloth towel absorbs water more quickly than tissue paper. So the hypothesis is that. Variables, there are 3 types of variables. Manipulated, responding, and constant. So manipulated variable, type of towels. Responding variable, amount of water absorbed. Constant variable, size of towels, for example. Okay, next, plan an experiment. So we have to plan. We have to design, we have to plan an experiment carefully. We need to choose the right materials for the experiment. We need to choose the right apparatus for the experiment. Okay, next. Of course, after we plan, we conduct the experiment. So precautions must be practiced. Safety measures must also be followed to prevent accidents. So this is the time for you to test your hypothesis. Okay, next, collect data. So of course, by using suitable instruments, you can collect your data, and you can use a table to record your data. So at least, for example, we need to carry the measurement at least 3 times, okay, to get an accurate reading. Okay, next, analyze and interpret data. Maybe through graphs, maybe through tables. So, because graphs and tables really assist us to easily interpret the data. For example, this graph. The blue one is tissue paper, maybe, and the orange one is cloth. So next, make a conclusion. So make a conclusion. Either the hypothesis is accepted or the hypothesis is rejected. If rejected, so we need to make a new hypothesis, and again we need to carry out the experiment again. And the last one, writing a report. So for example, as you can see in the figure, so there are pendulum A 2 kg and pendulum B is also 2 kg, but both pendulums have different length. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, let's identify the problem. So, how does the length of a pendulum influence the period ni masa of one complete oscillation? So, what is one complete oscillation? So, this is one complete oscillation from A to C to A. One complete oscillation. So, kalau from A to C sahaja, belum complete lagi. Okay. Okay, let's try. Let's take a look at this experiment report. Okay, hypothesis. when the length of simple pendulum is shortened, it will swing faster. Yes. This is just the hypothesis. Hypothesis means the initial explanation. So, next, the variables, maybe the control variable, weight of the metal, the pendulum, manipulated variable, length of the string, maybe 10 cm, maybe 20 cm, and the response variable is time taken for 20 complete swings, for example, for 10 complete swings, maybe making a conclusion. So when the length of the pendulum is shortened, it will swing faster. Okay, so that's all. Let's continue 1.7, scientific attitudes and values in carrying out scientific investigations. So, okay. What are the scientific values that must be practiced by a scientist? So, the first one, be interested and curious about surroundings, of course. Be honest and accurate while recording and validating data. Be responsible for your own and others' safety as well as for the environment. Alright, moral values. So, these are few examples of values that need to be practiced during a scientific investigation, during a scientific investigation experiment. So the first one, realize that scientific knowledge is one of the way to understand our environment. Second one is appreciate and practice a clean and healthy lifestyle. The third one, appreciate the balance in the natural environment. Number 4, be polite and respect each other. And the last one, be grateful that the natural environment is a gift from God. Okay, let's try. No need to copy lah. Just discuss the answer verbally. Alright, let's take a look at the first question. Okay, conclusions of a scientific investigation can be influenced by scientific attitudes and values practiced when carrying out experiments. So, what are the scientific attitudes and values that need to be practiced by a student to make accurate conclusions? So, for the first one, no need to copy in your notebook, okay? We just discussed. So, okay. Be honest, of course. Make it simple. Be honest. And precise. In a recording, data. And have a positive attitude. Okay, next, the second one. What are the attitudes that will assist scientists to understand the haze phenomenon that causes air pollution? Be responsible. Be responsible towards health, safety, and the environment. Turn to page 14, your activity book. Okay, 1.6. Number 1, match the following science process skills to the correct example. So, first one, making a hypothesis, making inferences, refining operationally, observing. Density is defined as mass per unit volume. Light is needed for photosynthesis. The reading on the spring balance is 4 Newton. The longer the pendulum, the longer the period of oscillation, the period masa. So the longer the pendulum, the longer the period of oscillations, complete oscillation. So this is making a hypothesis. Then the reading of the spring balance is 4 Newton. So you need to use your eyes. Observing, you need to use your eyes. So okay, light is needed for photosynthesis. So this is inference. Density is defining operationally. Okay, next, number 2. The following diagram shows an experiment conducted by a student to study the relationship between the length of a pendulum and its period masa of oscillation. So before this kita dah belajar one complete oscillation. So from A to B and come back to A. So that's considered as one complete oscillation. So okay, length of pendulum, for example 20 cm, 40 cm, 60 and 80 cm. Time taken for 10 complete oscillation, 8, 12, 16, 20 seconds. Average time, purata, average time, one complete oscillation, 0.8, 1.2, 1.6, 2.0. Now, 10 complete oscillation need 8 seconds if the length of the pendulum is 20 cm. So average time for one complete oscillation, so you bahagilah. So this is the result. Okay, based on the table above suggests one hypothesis. Okay, hypothesis, the longer the length of the pendulum, the longer its period of oscillations. Okay, next, manipulated variables are length of pendulum, because we can change the length of the pendulum, 20 cm, 40 cm pendulum. Next, responding variable. Okay, time taken. If 20 cm, the length of the pendulum, time taken 8 seconds, for example. If the length of the pendulum 40, time taken 12. So responding variable, time taken. For 10 complete oscillations. Okay, next, constant variable. Okay, mass, the mass, because the mass is the same mass of Bob. Okay, next, predict. Okay, predict the average time taken for one complete oscillation if the length of the thread is used is 100 cm. Okay, 100 cm. Okay, it's mentioned here. Okay, if 20 seconds, 20 cm, the length of the pendulum is 20 cm, time taken 8 seconds. 40 cm, time taken 12. The length of the pendulum 60 cm, time taken 16 seconds. So seems like we just need to add 4. If 80 cm, the length of the pendulum, time taken 20. So the question is, if the length of the thread used is 100 cm, so the time taken 24. Just add 4, right? Second. But the question is the average time taken for one complete oscillation. So 2.4 seconds. So the answer for this one is 2.4 seconds. Okay, the last question. In your opinion, what are the effects when students practice scientific attitudes and moral values in experiments? So, okay. Okay, the students okay, obtain accurate result. Able to solve problems, and become more responsible. Okay, that's it.